Wow, g'day there traders and friends right around the world. What a capitulation we've seen across all three of the US markets in today's trading session. Congratulations. We were expecting this retracement to continue. We have set ourselves up for success and to make a little bit of money in the process, trading to the downside. The Dow Jones Industrial Average today down over 332 points on the daily. This is a very interesting candlestick. This is what we call a long day Morobozu candlestick. It is very, very negative for the week ahead for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You can see it has a nice shaved top and also a shaved bottom. We closed at the lows. This is very, very bearish for a continuation to the lower level of this box. The same is true for the S&P. You can see again a very similar type of candlestick, a long day Morobozu candlestick. Expanding volume again on both of these markets, and you can see it has the shaved top and also the shaved bottom. We closed at the lows, and this is generally a sign of continued weakness transitioning into the following day's trading session. So please pay attention to that particular signal on the daily candlestick as well. The Nasdaq was down over 80 points, 82.65 points today. You can see a nice strong gap to the downside, a little bit of an upper wick, but you can see we closed at the dead lows on this particular market as well. What does this all mean for us as we transition further and round out this entire trading week? We are expecting lower lows in the markets. They may be very short-term targets. This is somewhat of a bullish bounce where we're expecting that, look, if the markets can hold this level, we can sort of recommit to sort of long ideas at least, but we will need some additional candlesticks. At the moment, you should be short orientated. We have set up a lot of trades from that pro analysis class to capture the downside movement. What I'll do is just reference some of those as at the Tuesday afternoon. First of all, what I'd like to do is reference Caterpillar. Caterpillar again is dancing around $80.10 on the daily. We're still looking at these two lower levels, so pay attention to about $78.98 it appears on my chart. FAS is a much nicer type of pattern in regards to Caterpillar. You can see right here we had a bearish entry at $120.84. Today we closed at $116.78. This was a $4 move from our entry price, down over $6.83 on the daily. This is quite an incredible move. I really referenced this particular candlestick on the rollover based on our stochastics and just this general sort of weakness to the upside. This is an absolutely incredible trade. So congratulations on the FAS short. Still looking at lower levels around $112.12. So pay attention to that particular stock. Facebook today is broken down below our relaxed entry of $78.40. We had an aggressive entry at $79.70. I had a lot of people email me yesterday saying that they actually triggered into this particular trade. Congratulations if you did. It doesn't matter if you got in at $78.40, you were still wonderfully profitable as well. Down $1 from this trigger right here, and down, what's the difference between these two? About $2.50 from our aggressive entry at $79.70. Reference this 3-day candlestick pattern right here. This is what we call an evening star reversal. And again, it was very bearish for the price of Facebook moving into the week. You can see the downside continuation in that price of Facebook. One other stock which I want to reference is Tesla. Tesla's sort of dancing below our two entries. We have Tesla short at 192.83, and we also have Tesla short at 191.35. Both are profitable. However, today's candlestick in the face of such a bearish market, down over 300 points on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's never good to see a white candlestick when you expect to see a stock rolling over and continuing down to lower levels. So pay attention to Tesla, tighten your stops on this particular trade. Lock in your profit if you're able. If not, make it as close to a break even as possible. Personally, I'm looking at about 194.35 at the moment. A lot of other stocks are making big moves. They are counter trend, and with that counter trend comes additional risk. Apple's really trying to push lower. A lot of people were tying the news of the Apple Watch to some form of, bullish sentiment in Apple. Apple is absolutely renowned for selling good news, right? Good news comes out, good earnings reports comes out, the price goes in the opposite direction. It leaves fundamental analysis absolutely stumped. You can see why as technical analysts, we can say to ourselves that, look, there's a very good chance that Apple is going to continue down at least to this 122 level, even as low as $119 a share. Personally, I'm not shorting Apple. It is counter trend, and I'm simply sitting out of the retracement. The same is true for Amazon. Now, I've had a lot of people email in and say, look, is this a good time to go long Amazon? The answer is potentially yes. Is it a good time to do it right now? No, it is not. Wait for a couple of white candlesticks to show up at least. Watch for the test of the 50 exponential moving average. There's a good chance that we could be selling off a little bit more into Amazon. I'm not shorting this myself. Again, counter trend to the overall trend direction. but it's looking weak. However, we are at a support level, so I'll keep you updated on that particular stock over the coming days. Baba today was up 44 cents. It's still sort of, dancing around our initial entry going back to earlier in the month. I mean, this was the 3rd of March 2015. It's bounced back up. It's retested this old support as new resistance, and it looks as if it's failing. So sit tight on Barber at the moment. But it is, sort of just trickling out around 112, 110 over here. I'm just sort of like waiting for Baidu to give us some clearer signals. I do believe we are going to break above 220. Will it be this week? I do not think so, largely due to the retracement taking place in the overall market. I've referenced Facebook. Google is another stock which is pulling down into lower levels. I am really considering Google long, not yet. But when we start to see white candlestick either around 555 or as low as 545, this may be the bottom of the retracement in Google, and it could be a very good buying opportunity. Again, I'm sitting tight and waiting for clearer indication signals. Here we go on GoPro. GoPro had an additional aggressive entry at 39.22. We actually hit that as we gap down on on Tuesday's trading session. 37.37 was our first target. I didn't place this trade. It was too aggressive for me, so I just want to make that clear. I did not place the GoPro trade, but for those of you who did, another very profitable trade to the downside. Again, it's showing relative strength, very similar to Tesla. You get a white candlestick in the face of such a bearish market. It's showing you that it is at least somewhat bullish in the face of a weak market. Halliburton at the moment is dancing around that another aggressive entry at 41.48. You can see right there we have what we call a gravestone doji. No true indication. A dotted line is a very aggressive type of entry in that particular stock, so just sit tight on Halliburton. Netflix continues to sell off, $10.57. I would be surprised if we don't see a white candlestick in Netflix at this particular location come Wednesday. We are at this support going back to late January, early March. It's a very good place for the stock price short term to at least slow, but then ultimately fail. If not, 424 is the next target on Netflix. Again, this is a stock which I am not shorting. The reason why is because it is counter trend to the overall market. Tesla I've referenced, and to conclude with, we have Twitter. Twitter is getting into some form of a squeeze. It looks as if it's pressing against the Bollinger Bands. Now, it's not as defined as LinkedIn. I'm about to reference LinkedIn for you. That's meant to be LNKD, pardon me. Down $1.75, but we have so much support and gap support where this stock is. I wouldn't really go too far as to short Twitter at the moment, especially after the market's already moved, a pretty decent amount, 330 points. Now, the final stock which I want to reference in this Tuesday afternoon market recap is the stock price of LinkedIn. I brought this to your attention, when was it? It was on Sunday. Sunday it was. And I was talking about this Bollinger Band squeeze. Now, LinkedIn is still very, very high on my watch list. I'm paying very close attention to the stock. Very tight squeeze. We still haven't broken outside of the Bollinger Bands. Not much has changed. I can't really add too much. The only thing which I can add to LinkedIn is that it's very similar to that of Twitter. When you see a market sell off 330 points and you're in a very tight Bollinger Band squeeze and you're expecting a volatility breakout, if volatility doesn't break out on such a volatile day, right, or in the face of such a bearish volatile day, again it is showing relative strength. And at the moment, I'm still very, very neutral on the stock of LinkedIn. I'm very, very neutral. But when you see LinkedIn hold this level, pretty much do nothing, close flat, down $2.21, it appears to me that maybe there is, a bit of commitment and strength underlying this stock, and we are going to start to push above some of these higher entries in the coming days. So if I had to pick bearish or bullish on LinkedIn, I'm first of all very neutral. But if I had to pick between the two, maybe potentially more so long at this current juncture. I was more so bearish leading into the week, but because it's held this level on such a bearish day, maybe it's showing relative strength. Again, very neutral. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. I just thought I would update you because I've got a lot of emails coming in wanting another update on this LinkedIn trade setup. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That is a Tuesday afternoon market recap. Go back and watch my video, the 30-minute video from 2 days ago, 3 days ago maybe, depending on your time zone. It mapped out exactly what we expected for this market, and as such, it is acting the way that we intended or anticipated it to act. So thank you so much. Have a great evening. I'll see you all Wednesday if we see some continuation to the downside. All the best traders around the world. Have a great night. Goodbye.